Sentinel Mindset.
What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a fantastic day. I got some amazing content here today. I'm here today with two amazing individuals from York Regional Police. With me today, I have Constable Ralph Cranby. Crombie or Cranby?
Crombie.
Crombie. And also, I have Constable Amari Watkis in the house. What's going on, guys?
We're doing great.
We're doing great.
Amazing.
Thank you for having us. We're happy to be here.
Yes,
Amazing. I've had the privilege of connecting with you guys over the years. York has been absolutely incredible with Sentinel Mindset, allowing us to come in and film different areas of the organization. I'll tell you, you guys have some amazing people representing York, and you guys both specifically have incredible hearts, and that's one thing that I've gravitated towards. So I'm really glad that you guys were able to make it out today.
Are you talking about us? Wow, man. Thank you very much. We appreciate the accolades.
Really, yeah.
So
much appreciated.
So what I want to do is just so people can get to know you guys a little bit more. You guys both work in the recruitment division.
Yes, that's correct.
In my opinion, you guys have probably one of the most important positions in the organization because you guys are responsible in ensuring you bring in the new talent coming in. Okay?
Most definitely.
So just so we can hear a little bit about your stories and who you are, Rob, let's start off with you. How long have you been with the service?
So I've been with York Regional Police for 26 years. This year will be 26 years. I was with Toronto for 5 years as a civilian.
Okay.
So I'm in my 31st year.
31st?
Yeah.
So you're
I completed 30 years.
Wow,
January.
man. Okay. And would you say that for yourself, the time has flown by? You're like, whoa, where did time go?
It went by very fast.
Very quickly, yeah? Okay. All right, Amari, hit yourself, man.
Yeah, man. So, but you're saying, my man Ralph here, 31 years, he looks great, man.
Yeah, he
Just
does
wanted
look
to let
great,
you know.
man. He does look great.
So as for me, I've been on for 21 years. I've been assigned to many different units. And for me, where my heart lies or where my interest lies in understanding investigations are very important. My thing was more of being one with the community, engaging the community. And as long as I can remember, since I've been on the job, I've always been on that side of the house and community services. I worked in diversity unit. Called Diversion Unit, which is not so much community related, but we're still engaging the public.
Yes.
And as of right now, I've ended up in the recruiting unit, specifically on the outreach side. And I had the honor and privilege of working with this wonderful individual named Ralph Crombie.
Yes.
And I said we've been working together for almost 2 years now, and it's been amazing. And just like you said, humbly speaking, we are doing some great things as an organization, specifically in our unit.
Yeah.
And we're definitely keen on talking about some of those things today.
That's amazing, man. Let me say this. Every time I see you guys, whether it be at these expos that we saw you last week or these school functions you're looking to recruit, I always notice that you guys are always the energy is there and you're always so thrilled and happy to be there. I think that's such an amazing thing to have. It's because it showcases how much you love what you do.
Most definitely.
So personally, I'm of the belief that if you're dealing with the public and you're selling something or you're trying to convince people that it's the right thing to do, it has to come from the heart. It has to come from a good place, because the average person will see through you. They'll see that you're BSing.
Right.
That's
right. You're fake.
Cut to the chase. Right. You're fake.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not so much. I'm sure I can speak for Constable Watkis as well, that it's not so much the hours. You're not working, even though we work weekends sometime, but you're not working nights and stuff. It's we believe in what we're doing.
Yes.
And the organization have done so much for us that we always want to give back, and we do it with genuinely.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Tirelessly.
Right.
That's where we are. We spoke about this at length when we started in the unit. We sat down and we spoke to each other and we asked, what do you want out of this? What do you want out of this? And I told him that I'm towards the end of my career and he's still aspiring to finish, do other things as well.
Yes.
So, we work well together, and we're both on the same track. We want the same thing for the organization.
Okay, that's amazing. Do you want to say anything to that?
One thing I wanted to say is just like what my colleague Ralph was saying. So we're not so much as selling to individuals out there, because as Ralph said, it's in my mind, selling is almost like you're being fake. You're trying to snow somebody, or you're trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes and provide information about something that you might not think is good, but you need to put it in a package it in a way that kind of seems better than what it really is. We speak to individuals' hearts and minds because, as I said, they come to us knowing what they want, but they might not know how to get to where they want to be. Like, they might not know the path to take to the end goal.
Right.
And that's where we come in. So we're not out there selling information, because York Regional Police does great things and they showcase it on their own. We're just, once again, talking to hearts and minds.
Okay, that's amazing. So we're going to strip the layers down today, because the jobs that you have is to find good people.
Most definitely.
And what we want to do is, in today's episode, we want the people that want to become police officers to truly understand what they need to do to win, to get your attention. Because here's the thing. What started a lot of this conversation is last week we're at the Police Fire Security Expo.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we were also boothing as well, trying to recruit people in the security sector. And the one thing that I couldn't believe, and maybe call it old school belief structure system, I could not believe how many people were coming out to create a first impression with a service or with an agency dressed in jogging pants, dressed down, not having the presentation component into place. And then something that we've noticed happen over the years, where people don't really understand either A, what they're walking into, what the job entails, what you're trying to kind of position at, but they also don't know the job of what the job requires.
Exactly.
And here's the thing for people listening today. There's over 9,000 people every year that are applying to the police services, over 9,000, which means it's still very competitive.
Most definitely.
Even though I would say that all police services are probably in a I'm going to call it some type of hiring crisis, meaning as in that there's a big decline. You need to start filling in a lot of classes. They're about to introduce a new class, from what I understand, so 5 classes a year. Mm-hmm. This is like, there's no better time to apply. So how can you, listening today, watching today, how can you give yourself the edge when you're meeting recruiters like what we're seeing today? So I want to start off by saying this. How are you seeing the landscape right now? Like, you say, what catches your attention, Amari?
So to be honest with, and I like the way that you set that up, Constantine. The way that what captures my attention is somebody that looks like they've done their homework. Because I said, like, a lot of times, if you really know what you want out of life, you might not know the ultimate, once again, path to get there or the way to get there.
Right.
But you'll know a little bit about it. So when you're coming to us and talking to us about a career that you are very passionate about, that you're saying that it's been your dream, ask questions that you couldn't find by doing your own research. Because if you're asking questions about minimum requirements, obviously we'll assist all day. But if you're saying that you're very serious and this is something you've always wanted to do, know the basic, know what you need to know, because then it shows us that you're serious and that you've done a little bit of homework. Because for us, myself and Ralph, and I can speak for Ralph on this one, we will never guarantee success.
Okay.
Like, success is going to be up to you and how you present yourself.
Right.
But what we can guarantee, that we'll do everything within our power to get you to a point that you can be successful, but you have to do the heavy lifting. And heavy lifting is just presenting yourself like your best self. You know what I mean? Knowing what you need to know. And if there's things that you don't know, because you're not going to know everything, like, then you ask those questions. But if there are questions that you can go and Google or research and do on your own, do that.
Okay.
So then once again, it shows me that you're very serious, and then I can say, okay, this individual's already done a lot of the lifting, and I know where I can assist them, as opposed to somebody coming in saying this is their dream, saying they've always wanted to do it, and asking me how old you have to be or what do you have to do as an officer, certain things that you should know about a potential job that you're looking to get into.
It's funny you're saying this, because when we have people applying to our agency, so what we do here, we position ourselves, we are a stepping stone, we are the transitional process for someone getting onto the service, meaning as in, come to us, we'll help you get there. And then we'll hear people say, yeah, like, I go, what do you want to do for a career? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, I'm thinking, like, I want to be a police officer. But what do you mean thinking? What do you mean thinking? Like, tell me, how long have you been thinking like this for? Because if I hear, I just the last year or so, to me, are you sure you've been really, this is what you want to do? Because the other answer that I hear people say is, with confidence, I want to become a police officer. It's been something I've been aspiring to. Exactly. I've been kind of getting myself there. So again, I think it's so key to know what you're walking into. We're going to get into that. But Ralph, let me ask you a question. How big is first impressions to you? Somebody comes to you, like, and not even just to you. How big are first impressions in general?
So there's a phrase that you never get a second chance to make a first impression, right?
Yes.
So for us, professionalism is very important. And it comes in the way you dress, the way you conduct yourself, right?
Okay.
That's what we look for. So I remember many years ago when I was in recruiting, somebody comes to drop off their application at that time, physically, but most people would come in a suit and tie or a business attire.
Yes.
Nobody walks in a T-shirt.
Right.
Because you walk in a suit and tie, that tells us that you already did your homework and you understand that this is a professional organization and you need to be professional at all times.
Right.
Right. So we looked at that, but now everything is online. So I don't think the word is getting out enough.
Yes. Yes.
To people to say, listen, you're applying. We know you're applying online, but if you're coming to an event or to a police facility and you're looking for a job, you should dress the part.
Yes.
You should look professional.
Right. So it's safe to say that if you're seeing people all the time, and one person is coming looking very professional, dressed in a nice suit, and the next person is coming in the jogging pants and a t-shirt, that, you know, you're probably going to assess and say, look, the person in a suit is taking this a little bit more seriously because he knows more of what the job entails.
Correct.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And at the same time, as I said, we're a service that's very open-minded. And as I said, we moved from the position of saying we want the perfect individual, understanding that nobody's perfect.
Yes.
And that just goes hand in hand with our people first ethos.
Right.
Of coming as you are, and individuals who are local in the community wanting to be a police officer. We want those individuals. So obviously, like if you come in, the person coming in the suit will automatically assume they're ready to go. A person in the jogging pants and thing, we won't assume that they're not, but we just might think as humans, like maybe they might need a little bit more polishing. But at the end of the day, we want the process to dictate their success and not so much our opinions, because it's not about our opinions per se.
Okay.
You understand? But still, obviously, there's a deportment. And
sure.
And even on the service, as I said, as long as Ralph's been on 31 years, you would see his uniform. It's clean. There's no mess. There's no food stains. And those are things that, those are things that we take very seriously. And with myself being on 21 years as well, is something that we take very seriously because it's, as I said, like we don't understand the mindset of individuals out there who are on the criminal element. But if they look at us and they see an individual like Ralph, uniform clean, his boots are clean, everything is clean, they're going to think that this is not a person to mess with because he pays attention to detail.
Absolutely.
So that's just something that our service, you know what I mean? They're very big on just deportment and the way we look. And for us as individuals as well is something we take very seriously because it could be between not life and death, but it can be between a serious situation or, you know what I mean? Or you just doing your thing as an officer.
So let's just do a role playing here. Imagine last week, you guys at the expo, you had a person come up to you and he presents incredible. He has a nice, clean suit. His shoes are polished. And in his hand, he has his resume. And he comes right up to you guys and goes, hello, sir. My name is John. This is my resume. I have been very keen and interested in applying to York Regional Police. I'm inspired. I want to give back to the community. I want to showcase to you that I can do what I can do. Here's my resume. I would love to be able to be part of your organization. If he did something like that, would that be something that you guys are used to hearing? Or is it more or less like it's a different experience?
I won't speak for Ralph on that one, but I said I could say like depending on the event.
Like, would I catch your attention if I
most definitely. Okay. And I said it would be an event by event basis, but so I guess that would be more of the latter. We do see a lot of individuals who come up ready to go, switched on, dressed nice, ready to present their best self. Right. And I said we do have the odd individual coming up and, you know what I mean, saying they're interested, saying they're serious, but really not presenting themselves. So it's almost like a conflict of what you're saying and the way you're presenting. Right.
And no, that's why you said, you only have one chance to make a first impression, and they matter tremendously. So again, for anybody listening here right now, it's not difficult to level your game up. You know what I mean? I know, look, there's some people that might even say, well, I can't afford a suit. Well, look, I can tell you right now, there's a brand called George. Go to Walmart, they're $79, okay? They're not your best suit, but at least you're showing an attempt to make something happen. And I think that's the important part when you're trying to walk in and create a career for yourself, okay? So let's look a little bit deeper right now. Let's just say you have met the individual, right? And they've gone through the process. Now, one thing that we hear over and over and over again with people is that they're saying, I didn't make it because I'm being told I don't have enough life experience, okay? Can you guys just quickly talk about what you guys define as life experience so someone can understand what they need to do to get that piece in effect?
Okay, so our 5 values centers around what we do as far as the interview process is concerned.
Right.
For people, we stress a lot on people to finish school, continue learning, volunteering, getting involved in the community. Yes. Or any community.
Yes.
Do something that you like. Okay. Volunteer. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Right. The reason why we do that is because some of the parts of the interview are geared towards situations that you can draw from either schoolwork or the community.
Yes.
If you're not working and you're not going to school or you're not volunteering, you won't be able to draw from anything.
Right.
You won't have that experience.
Yes. Yes.
Right? As Amari said, we're not looking for the perfect person. We're looking for people who have been out there, have been into issues with others, resolved the issue, working and just being responsible.
Yes. And I think
Right?
what's so important about that, Rob, is that they have to be able to demonstrate something to an interview process that can be relatable and transferable to when you're dealing with somebody in the community.
Exactly.
Correct.
Okay?
Exactly.
Correct.
Okay. So that's something that I think is very much needed. I think also I want to kill this thought process that it has to be in security, because you can build your life experience anywhere, right? Talk about that, Amari.
So I just want to say what Ralph said is spot on. And in regards to what you were saying, Constantine, is that everybody's life experience is going to be different. There's no set path. So there have been times that we've been asked, and I don't know if Ralph been asked, but I can assume, but I've been asked, like, what type of life experience do I need? And to be honest with you, like, I wouldn't be the person, or Ralph or anybody around our organization couldn't be the person to tell you what life experience you need. You just need to have to experience life.
Right.
And everything is different, just like my colleague so eloquently said. Like, there's multiple ways that individual can go about, experiencing life, per se. So, yeah, so as I said, that would be one thing, is just get out there and try different things.
Right.
Put yourself out there. So gone are the days where we say that you need a nexus to policing, meaning that you have to have some policing background or something. We would like that.
Yes.
But we understand that not everybody has the luxury of doing that.
Right.
So comes into play that security is a great stepping stone. As we said, it's amazing. It teaches you a lot of great things. That you would be dealing with on a policing career. So it is a great stepping stone, but it's not something that you have to do, but it is good.
Right.
It is good. So for me, it would just put yourself out there, try different things that you never thought you would be able to do, and just put yourself out there and experience new and exciting things.
No, that's good.
So you can gain that experience.
No, I'll tell you that. I think another thing people that really kind of have shortfalls is they think they know what the police service wants. For example, I hear people say, I'm going to go right now and get a job or get my gun license because that's what the police want, for example, right? And then I'm like, okay, but have you considered maybe trying to pursue leadership? Because that's something that they may put more value in, because kind of that's how the community looks at you as a leader, right?
Yes.
So sometimes I think people need to understand that what they feel and what the actual service requires or looks at as impressive are two different things.
Two different things.
And can you speak about some things that you feel that if you possess these, it'll literally give you a little bit of the edge, especially in the competition process, right? Meaning, as in, if you're competing against thousands of people, what is that little small thing that you can go after that's going to give you the edge over everybody else?
I just wanted to say one thing before Ralph, but he can answer this perfect. I would say you have to have confidence in yourself, and you have to believe that you can achieve what you set yourself up to achieve. It's because we have a lot of individuals that come into the process, or they would come up to our booth or speak with us, and they lack confidence. The only reason why I say that is because the way they present themselves, and they say that, I don't have the confidence, and they don't give themselves the grace to,
Right.
to champion what they've done at that stage in the game.
Okay.
I would say one thing for sure is to have confidence.
Confidence is key, man. If you're serving in the public, I tell this to people all the time. I mean, I give an example. We know each other, but if you guys actually knew me, behind, I would say, closed doors, I'm actually a quiet person. You know what I mean?
Can I say I am too?
Yeah. but to me, like, what you show the world, right, and what you show a service, again, the outgoingness, you have to put that on. I tell people, if you're shy, that's cool. You got to put on that mask right now, because the people are going to want to see someone that's confident in the community, not someone that's going to be like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with that situation. Ralph.
There's no doubt about it. Self-confidence, I would say it's 80 to 90% of policing.
Yes.
Self-confidence. You got to be confident. What was the other part again? You ask.
So say what is the one thing that stands out?
Yeah. So this is one area that I would say most police services have an issue with candidates.
Yes.
And it's a physical fitness aspect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to get into that.
Oh, we are.
But
we are.
The physical, I can't emphasize enough. One of the biggest issues we're having right now is with physical readiness. There's a physical component to the constable selection system. It's called a shuttle run, and you got to get to stage 7 of the shuttle run.
Yes.
If you can't do it, then we can't hire you.
Okay. So it doesn't matter how much you can bench press.
It doesn't matter how much you can bench press. Doesn't matter how big a muscle you are.
Yes.
As is comparing to what you said about gun license. You don't need to get a gun license to join the police service.
That's right.
Once you're hired by the police service, you're trained. You go to the Ontario Police College in Elmer and you get qualified, and by the provincial government, and that allows you to carry a firearm at work.
Yes.
So gun license is irrelevant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But the biggest issue right now is physical readiness.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying
it's challenging for a lot of people, and I think that people are not making enough effort.
Okay.
To prepare themselves physically to be successful in the physical part of the constable selection process.
Right, and that would be kind of what we talked about earlier about knowing the job, right? Understanding what the requirements are. The physical side is massive, and I mean, we actually filmed last year or a year and a half ago with you, Amari, where we talked.
It was last year.
Yeah, it was at the arena where we kind of started talking about we actually had man, I forgot the officer's name right now.
Julie Thompson.
That's right. Shout out, man. And she actually did the entire prep test in her uniform.
Didn't even break a sweat.
That's right. And the thing is this, like, to your point, if you're going to be getting into a job,
and she's only 25,
21.
So if you're going to do a job where you have to apprehend people, right? You need to be able to keep up, right, with the momentum. So, and you're doing that in uniform. So, what would you suggest people that are listening right now that are saying, "Wow, I haven't even checked my physical baseline. How do I even prepare for this?"
So first of all, I'm a big proponent of setting attainable goals.
Okay.
Right. If you want to do it all at once, it won't work.
Okay.
So what I suggest, I've made several suggestions to people throughout or involvement in career expos and schools and universities and stuff like that. And people would ask me, what do I have to do? I said, you have to go out on the road, outside and run.
Okay.
And Amari and I, we spend hours trying to tell people and convince them, you got to go, you cannot do it on a treadmill. It won't work. You have to go outside and run. The old fitness testing was a mile and a half, which is 2.4 kilometers.
Yes.
Male was 11 minutes and females were 13 minutes or 14 minutes. Okay. So I always tell people, if you can run a mile and a half in say 13 minutes, you will be able to pass the shuttle run.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Start off small. So, mark the distance and start off small. So, and every day you keep adding.
Yes.
And in no time you will be able to pass. You'll be able to, but you have to put your mind to it. So you have to do it.
That's important that you're saying this.
And I said to them, we can't do it for you.
Right.
The police service can't do it for you.
That's right.
Nobody can do it for you. Your spouse or anybody. You have to do it yourself.
There's only one person that can create that opportunity, and that's themselves. That's right.
The only person that's stopping you is you.
That's right. That's right. Listen, I think this is important. And I want people listening right now as well to understand here. If your prep test is coming up next week, 1 week is not going to get you there.
No.
You're going to need at least a month to 3 months to get yourself physically ready and mentally ready and also be able to keep up with this. And here's the thing. You mentioned something. The shuttle run is 7.
Yes.
What if I come and do 10? Are you going to get impressed by that?
I'm very impressed.
Yeah. So for those listening, don't make 7 your benchmark. Make 9 your benchmark, right? And that's where you want to, when you're saying make a small goals, you can add those goals and layers them in place. Because to me, again, if I want to get your attention, okay, I'll tell you this right now. If I was not running companies, I would 100% be on working with you guys right now.
We would hire you.
Because I'd be like, my mindset would say, my goal is 13. That's what my mindset, it'd be 13. Because to me, if I'm going to compete against somebody else, I need to showcase why I'm the best in anything that I do, because I want this more than anything, right?
Definitely.
And the thing is, you mentioned something about the mile and a half. My first service, 25 years ago, I applied to Peel. Okay, that was my first service that I applied to.
That's
okay,
all right. We still love you.
And when I applied to them, there was no prep test, meaning as in it was push-ups, bench press.
Right.
It was chin-ups.
All anaerobic.
The running. Yeah, it was and that was an extremely difficult test to pass. The prep test right now, has changed dramatically when it was created, and it's designed to pass. You just got to put the work into it. You know what I mean? And it's not like it's because some people think
It can't be any simpler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not a blockable goal. You know what I mean? Like the Raptors winning the championship, that could be a blockable goal. That's just not happening this year. But what I'm saying is, but you put plans in place, you can get to those goals. So I like what you're saying here right now. Okay, so the prep test, that's one side of the whole component, getting the physical ready, getting the deportment 100% getting ready, getting that life experience. Okay, let's talk about something else right now, which I think I'm seeing more than ever. So we're not talking politics today, but what we're going to talk about is how people are communicating more than ever now using the social media platforms, okay? And it's, to me, what I'm seeing more and more is that I can't believe you're saying this in a public setting, and the profanity or the discrimination or whatever. Do you guys look at social media in a background stage when someone is applying to the service?
Yes, we do.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
So how should someone be navigating that?
We turn over all stones, everything.
Okay.
We go during the background stage.
Yes.
Of the constable selection process, we go back. We backtrack.
Okay.
To where you've been, what you have done. Just basically where you've been, what you've done.
Right.
So the document that my colleague Ralph was talking about, it's the PBQ, or the pre-background questionnaire, and that's where they would go into all the details, asking specific questions. Well, they'll then elaborate on later on in the interview. So that's an opportunity that we'll ask you. And we know and that's part of the integrity piece, because we say that integrity is obviously throughout the whole process, constable selection system process.
Yeah.
And in life, you need to have high integrity, especially on the job, because there's certain aspects that we're looking at throughout the whole process. So if we're asking if you are on social media and you tell us no, and we locate that,
yes,
like,
yeah,
you're gonna have to answer to why were you dishonest about it? Then we're gonna start thinking like there obviously is something within that realm that you're trying to hide. So
I'm gonna talk from the employer side. We have services that call us all the time in the background stage and saying, hey, we're here to do a background on XYZ, and they ask us very in-depth questions, and sometimes we'll tell our people they're asking these questions and they don't understand, like, yeah, that's probably far-fetched, that's not happening. They're trying to put together a story of who an individual is, and we're just one piece of the pie. Like they're connecting with many different people. They're as you said, the social media, your employers, families, friends, and they're going in depth. Like we've been asked questions like, do you know if this person goes out and drinks during the week, or we've been asked everything. In fact, I was very surprised where we got a phone call from Peel on a member who was already a police officer. He actually was from Sentinel. He went to Peel, and then he was transferring over to Toronto. So I apologize. The reference was coming from Toronto. And Toronto was asking us like a half an hour worth of questions. I'm like, he's a police officer already.
Right.
But to me, I don't understand why you're going that deep in background. But the background is a very, very big piece of someone's success rate.
So there's one big reason why at the background stage we do go to social media and stuff like that, and we will go through all avenues to find out if there's anything negative, and we also look at the positive things.
Yes.
Okay. So, as you know, as police officers, we have to be totally unbiased.
Right.
So you got to keep your personal feelings to the side.
Right.
I can speak for York Regional Police.
Yes.
Okay. So you keep your personal feelings to yourself as it pertains to the job, or you are a police officer 24/7. So you have to always be mindful of who you're saying to and what you're saying.
Right.
Especially when you're on the job.
Right.
Okay. We protect life and property. That's what we do, regardless of who this person is. These individuals are.
Yes.
Or what they believe in, or what their religion is, what their background is. We're there to protect life and property.
That's right.
So if this person has biases that it's beyond our discretion that we find out, then this person won't be suitable.
Right. That's right.
It's very simple as that.
Yeah.
If you have biases towards certain groups or certain individuals or certain communities, the police service is not going to be keen on hiring you.
Right.
Because you don't exemplify the values. The values that we have is you have to be unbiased. You have to treat people equally.
Yes.
Under the charter, we abide by the charter.
Okay. That's amazing, and that's important.
Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms is very important.
Right. No, that's good, man. I'm right. What about you, man? What's your thoughts on this?
So like I said, just like Ralph said, I totally agree, man.
Yeah.
As I said, just because it's something that's very important here as well for those reasons. And as I said, I remember working in a diversity unit, as I said, and having to attend World Pride.
Yeah.
Never been to one of the events.
Yes.
And I'm going to be honest, I had the best time of my life, and just by being open-minded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and just having the understanding that we represent a larger organization and not so much as ourselves.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
It's not about my personal feelings. It's not about Ralph's personal feelings. But understand those are taken into account because our service does care.
Okay.
But it comes to when it's personal decisions or personal feelings, those things are put to the side just because we have a bigger goal that we're trying to achieve.
Okay.
And that's just being there for the public to protect life and liberty.
Okay, that's good, man.
right.
Let's talk about community work, community service.
That's our bread and butter.
Yeah. So I've heard people say, why? Why should I bother? I mean, it has nothing to do with me being a police officer. I mean, I have to give back. Why? I mean, do other jobs give back?
So
talk to that.
I'll say this quickly. As I said, like I grew up in an area, and I've been far removed for a number of years, but I grew up in the Jane and Finch area.
Okay.
And I can remember vividly, obviously negative things, but I can remember the positive interactions with police officers, TPS specifically. Like I lived in 5 Needle Freeway. We had, it's called Connections. That's now been torn down, but we had a centralized basketball court that TPS, and I don't know what unit they were from because I was a lot younger. I was about 12, 13. But I just remember individuals that looked like me coming out and interacting with us, but interacting with us in a meaningful way. Wasn't the corporate jargon. It wasn't, it was almost like it was an older brother of mine or maybe a father or whatever the case was, somebody from my community. But they came out, they played basketball with us, and they met us at our level, met us where we were. You know what I mean? And I remembered that, like I'm 44 years now, and it's been, 31 years ago?
Yeah.
You know, and I will never forget that.
Okay.
How much of an impact it had on me back then. And I just know personally, working in community services, once again, as a school resource officer, interacting with some great individuals at the younger age who have now come onto the job. And I've actually ran into an individual. I was visiting somebody who I hold near and dear to my heart, a supervisor in Markham. I was there meeting with him, and I was just shooting the breeze, and this individual came in, and he looked familiar. And I said to him, "You look very familiar." And he's like, "I know you, Amari." And I'm like, no, you don't know me. He's like, "No, I do." And he's like, I'll prove it to you. I'm like, okay. He shows me a photo from back in 2010. Crazy. I was obviously a lot younger, a lot thinner, all that type of stuff. But and he was in grade 10. He was a young cat.
Yeah.
And when I met him last year, he was 28 years old. And he says, I won't say that I can take any credit, but he did mention that I might have had a hand in just kind of, you know what I mean, putting his mind onto policing. He's always wanted to do it, but meeting with me and me just giving him the time of day, talking with him and being genuine with him is kind of what changed his mind into wanting being a York officer, and similar to another individual who's with us for the last 10 years. Can
you imagine if you're 13 years old and that never happened? Like, you take that whole thing away, could it have made you even follow this footstep?
Probably not, because it would have been something like it's not attainable because nobody looks like me. I wouldn't have known that.
Right.
But these guys came out, played with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was looking at these individuals like from my community in a position that I potentially could have been in later on. Because I've always wanted to be a police officer because I had an aunt who's retired now. So it's always been something I wanted to do, but I could have easily have been deterred by meeting individuals who weren't nice, who weren't engaging, and I could have been painting all officers with the same brush just because of one individual.
Amazing,
so myself and Ralph, and I won't speak for Ralph, but I know we go out, and even if we're tired, because we're humans, we do a lot of this stuff. We're out and about. It's draining to talk to individuals because we're out there giving our all.
Yes.
But we'll do it all day if we can get to 1 or 2 individuals, and we can just change our mindset around policing because we understand how important it is just based on our upbringing and where we've come from.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, man.
Yeah,
That's strong. How about you, Ralph?
So one of the most important thing for me, I've done a lot for various communities within the region, in terms of applications, in terms of giving advice, whether it's family issues, father, son, mother, daughter, father, daughter, and it's not even recorded. It's something that I feel that I'm obligated to do as part of the York Regional Police Service. I've spent time off work, helping people, helping young men who are at risk of going off, not listening to their parents, stuff
Right.
like that. As it relates to recruiting,
Yes.
we need, I think, York Regional Police, and I'm sure Amari will agree with me, we need people from every walk of life, every background, walk of life, because that's what our region looks like. And the police should represent what our communities looks like.
Yes.
It's very important. Him and I are of the same belief that it's very important. So when we indiscriminately go out there and we trying to find people who has the knowledge, skills, and ability to do the job,
Yes. Yep.
that's what we're looking for, right? So community involvement is back to your
Yes.
because community involvement is very important for many different reasons as it pertains to the police service. Very, very important. And there's I think it was Mr. Peel who said the community is the police and the police is the community. I just want to jump the gun a little bit here and said I know Amari is working on something that has to do with the community. I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to jump ahead of him
Yes.
with that because it's a thought that he has, it's an idea that he has, and he's going to put it together when the right time comes.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be an amazing thing for York Regional Police as
Amazing.
it pertains to community.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm talking
Wow,
about.
man.
I love this guy. This guy's good to
He's
go.
putting a trailer right now.
But I just wanted to jump in quickly, and I say this a lot, man. When we go to events, like for our organization, as being as big as they are, they're very supportive of myself and Ralph, like our supervisor, Amy Saunders specifically.
Yeah,
Like,
shout out to Amy, man.
Shout out, big
Yeah,
shout out
yeah,
to Amy.
Yeah.
All right. So when we're out there, like as I said, we're giving it our all. Like our schedule is 8 to 4 on paper. But if somebody wants to talk with us at 5 o'clock, we're not saying that we're superstars. We just understand that times aren't the same as ours. And I always say this, and I know Ralph is very similar opinion or idea. We want to be the people that we wish we had when we were going through the process. Because 21 years ago, 31 years ago, it was very different, like completely different. The supports weren't there so much just because it's always been competitive,
time,
but the
yeah.
pool was a lot bigger than it is now.
Right.
It's still very competitive.
Yes.
And us as organizations operate a little differently because we could.
Yes.
Times have changed. People have changed, more importantly, not coming to the profession as much as they used to. We understand that because we're switched on and with the support of our supervisor, immediate supervisor, and the organization as a whole, they allow us to do what we need to. If we need to pull a longer shift, it's like, yeah, whatever you need to facilitate that. If we need to change our schedule, just need to let our boss know, just because we respect her and her leadership, we keep her involved in everything. We let her know, whatever you need. There's been no roadblocks yet for the 2 years that we've been in this unit that we've been faced with
Yeah.
to prevent us from doing what we need to do, and that's just out there getting the most suitable individuals. We work weekends, like we're working evenings. You know what I mean? Like we work once again Monday to Friday, 8 to 4, but
Right.
there was a time when Ralph went to a candidate after hours to meet with this individual just because that's the time that they had available.
Under parents. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Right? Parents, so that's part of it as well. So,
Yeah.
so not so like that's the recruiting side. And this was a grown up. This was an
Yeah,
adult.
yeah.
But he still wants to meet with the parents so the parents can feel included in the process. So if they had any issues, or if they had any reservations, everything can be addressed at that point in time. So we're out there, you know what I mean, recruiting. And once again, that's part of the piece where I talk about talking to hearts and minds.
Yes,
It's not
yes.
selling. It's literally talking to people's hearts and their minds.
That's amazing, man. Like, a slogan that, you hear over and over again, to serve and protect, to serve and protect. You read it, you hear it, let's pause and really look what that word serve means, right? We hear about servant leadership. And I tell my people all the time in my organization, when you're looking to become a supervisor or a leader in this organization, we're not looking at authoritarians, right? Go over there, do this, do that. It's like, how can I inspire you, uplift you, motivate you, and help be part of your journey so you can be that? Like, that's the true essence of leadership.
I wanted to say something quickly about that. So it's funny that you talk about leadership. And in our organization, we're of the opinion that we lead with humility. So gone are the days, like you said, being that heavy-handed authority. Like those days are long gone. That toxic leader.
Yeah.
It doesn't do well because you hear the saying, a lot of times people don't leave a company, they leave a manager.
That's right.
York Regional Police understands this, and they've changed the model in the way that they look at leaders, and they want more, like you said, subservient. They don't want to know what you led. They want to know how you led, how you made people feel,
Right.
how you impacted individuals, how you raised them up above yourself. you know what I mean, being the leader. So even with Ralph here, he might not be of rank, but he's heavily influential.
Yes.
And I said, we've been together for about 2 years now in the unit. And as I said, this man has done a tremendous amount of things for me. He probably doesn't even recognize that.
Right.
He holds no physical rank, but what he lacks in the physical ranks, he makes up in the emotional leadership. Like,
Yes.
he's a true leader in every sense of the word.
And that is a testament, man. Like, I mean, to what you guys are doing, that is the truest testament to serving. You know, there's a quote that we use here in the company by Simon Sinek. We use it a lot for our people, and it's so applicable to what we're talking about today. And it's, don't do business with people that want what you have. Do business with people that believe what you believe, right? And if you look at that quote, and you know what we're talking about today is not about I'm doing this because I want it for the money, because I want it for the, you know, the uniform and for the gun and whatever else, you know, you think it comes. It's coming because there's a higher calling. There's a purpose here. And I find more and more in life these days, people are kind of going through life, you know, trying to make that directional move for themselves, but they're not leading by purpose, right? And this is a job that is like, it should equate to all purpose, because your purpose here is to do what you said, is protect life, protect asset. And that honestly puts you on a very different level of thinking, because the average human being does not want to put their life in danger.
No, they don't.
Right? So what you guys do is a rarity in the industries of jobs, because you guys are truly in a position where something could happen. You know, you may or may not come home one day because of that's a reality. So these are things that, you know, people need to understand, that you're walking into a higher calling, and that expects and pulls from you quite a bit.
And Constantine, you actually alluded to something earlier, and it's a cultural thing. Like, there's certain cultures where you see something, you don't say something.
Right.
Like, it's just not culturally, it's not acceptable. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? You mind your own business. If it doesn't involve you, you just keep it moving, because you don't want to get yourself in a situation where.
Yeah.
So.
Part of our culture is like that.
Specifically, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, growing up, I just remember being told, like, you be a good person, you do everything you need to do. If you only respond when you're asked.
Yes.
Like, if you like, you know what I mean? You obviously, you do everything that you need to. If you see an offense, like, you don't partake in, obviously, in that stuff, but you mind your own business. If it doesn't involve you, you keep it moving.
That's right.
And for the most part, is it right or wrong? It's not really for me to personally say if it's right or wrong. I just know for officers, you need to have a different mindset. Like, your mindset needs to be very different.
Okay. So as we come to a close here, what I want to
already? No, man, let's go. No,
oh, we can go. We can keep going. But what I want you guys to do is, I want you just to reference one thing from your own experiences, if you can, and whoever has to answer first, we'll have more time to think about the answer. Okay. But I want you to think of one person in your recruitment years, over the last 2 years, that did something that stood out to you, that really thought, man, this individual, like, he got my attention. And maybe it was something that he said, maybe it was something that you saw on a resume, maybe it was something that, you know, how he presented. And I want to use this as an example for people when you're looking at how you can stand out, like almost like a tip from your end. Here's something that you can do. Here's an experience that I have. And maybe, hopefully, this can inspire someone to pull maybe a like-minded experience.
Are you talking about
applicants?
An applicant? A potential applicant that caught your eye because something that they did or something that you saw, that's, okay, you got my attention here.
So for me, if I can answer quickly, if, like, as I said, growing up in Jane and Finch and quote unquote growing up in government housing, for me, I hold that near and dear to my heart, because I knew how it was. Like, as I said, I've been far removed for a number of years, but I remember how it was because I lived there. I remember the experiences. I remember my upbringing and my mom doing her thing, you know what I mean, trying to keep me on the right path. And obviously she did great because I'm here now.
Yeah.
But my thing would be individuals that come from those challenging areas, that they would stand out to me because I know what it takes. I don't know what it takes for an individual from an affluent area to come in, still giving them the same respect, because obviously it's not easy in anything, in any area, but specifically individuals who come from challenging areas, challenging upbringings, those are the ones that stand out to me. If they can come from that to where they are to present themselves as their best personal self, to me, that's what stands out, because I know the hard work that it takes, and you have to have a different mindset.
Yeah, man.
Because it's easy just to fall into the label, oh, you grew up in the hood, you grew up in the ghetto, you're just going to be a bandit or whatever the case is.
Right.
It takes a lot to rise above that. So for me, that's what stands out.
That's amazing. And before we jump to you, Rob, the other thing I'll tell people is, through your answer, I've heard people say things, man, like, I screwed up in my early years, right? And I tell people, man, it's not about the screw up. It's what you learn from it and how you can articulate what you did to rebound from it, right? Because I don't want people thinking that if you have a past that's considered negative, that it's going to be now the end for you. If you can demonstrate what you were able to do to make the change, to get yourself to that next level, if you can articulate that and showcase that, that it's like, that's, I think, where a lot of the, wow, that's another like layer of life experience, right? I came from this where I am not today.
And just remember, once again, before Ralph gives his amazing answer, because I know he's thinking,
No.
it's gonna be legendary. So I was just saying, just remember that.
Add to what you said. It's very important.
We no longer say best, and
Yes.
it's not by mistake that we moved away from best to suitable. Because once again, best means perfect.
Right.
Nobody in this world. The only person is the man above, and
That's it.
Chief.
That's right.
Chief Jim McSween. Other than that, and our sergeant, nobody else is perfect.
That's right.
I'm just kidding though. But on a serious
Shout
note,
out.
on a serious note, like
Yeah.
we understand individuals have challenges. Different upbringings might have gotten to a situation that they're not proud about, but they, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
come as you are.
Okay.
For the most part, understanding that you don't have to be perfect. You have a speeding ticket, we'll work with it. But just the biggest thing, you need to be honest, because everything
Yeah.
can be discussed, everything can be figured out. But what we will not tolerate is lying through omission or you being
Right.
dishonest or anything to do with your integrity, because we can't. We have too much at stake.
No, that's true, man. Thanks for sharing that.
So, Amari is bang on.
Okay.
It's all about honesty and integrity.
Okay.
Somebody who has messed up, and it's there are certain things that we have no discretion over as far as a criminal. Somebody has a criminal charge, or
Yes.
somebody's convicted of a criminal offense for which a pardon has not been granted. We don't have any control over that. We don't have any discretion. But somebody who has messed up, as Amari said, and throughout their life, and they learn from it, and they grow and they learn from it. We do have a similar culture within the police service as well for that. Like, listen, if we go out as police officers, every time we move, we violate something in the Police Services Act, or not in the procedures, in the York Regional Police procedures, right? There's always something that we didn't do or we forget to do, right? So, but they're not going to come after us, come running after us. Oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, because they know we're not perfect,
Right.
right? They're there to guide us.
Right.
These rules and procedures, they're there to guide us.
Yes.
And for some people who doesn't exercise common sense,
Yes.
it's there.
Right.
It's there to show you this is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
So as Amari said, we look for people who have messed up and have, come forward and say, you know what, this is what I did back
Yes.
then, and
Yes.
I know it wasn't right, and what did you learn from it? Okay, this is
Yes.
what I learned. This person tells me that this person can go on the road, and this person have a lot of street smarts.
Yes.
They can go on the road and handle themselves and deal with people with discretion and
Yes.
with the understanding of what we're looking for.
I honestly, I'll tell you this. What you guys are speaking about right now, it resonates with me. I grew up in Flemington Park, right? So
You're a real one. Though. That's why we get along.
So what I'll say is, like, I did not have I would say, like, when you say the word best and suitable, heck no to best, okay? Heck no.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, because there's no way, nobody is perfect. As you said, nobody is. Everyone's going to go through life. Things are going to happen. Friends you're going to make. Experiences you're going to have. Emotions you're going to go. You're going to get tested in life. And the reality is, what I'm hearing today is you're not going to get measured in a career by something that you did in your early years. I mean, of course, we're not talking about like murder and stuff like that. That's a different story here.
Of course.
But I'm saying, like, you may have been terminated from a job, or, you may have had like an experience. I think also, like, when you're transparent with people, because I find that the more you're transparent, showcases, you have nothing to hide, but it's not only about being transparent, it's also showcasing the learning curve.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's where life
Exactly.
kicks in now. It's like, man, look what I've been able to do. And you're that much more smarter, and wisdom has kicked in right now, making you, again, that glamorous candidate for a service.
And it's almost like being vulnerable as well, because
Yes.
vulnerability shows that you've learned,
Right.
as opposed to like having your backup, because then we're looking at it like you've learned through your
Yes,
words, but your
exactly.
actions are speaking differently.
Absolutely.
So having some of that vulnerability is a blessing as well, because once again, it shows that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, you've learned something from your past experience.
That's amazing. So again, hopefully people are listening to this, because I've heard too many people discount themselves, and that would be amazing.
Right.
But in their minds are like, it's not going to happen.
And there's one thing I have to say. I encourage people, which Amari always emphasize to potential candidates and people that we meet, is talk to the right people.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm sure you can elaborate on this as well, that sometimes people come up and they say various things to us that is not even close. Like, I can't think of an example, but somebody will say...
like around the selection or around the requirements.
The requirements.
I have a ticket. I'm not going to get on.
Yeah, you got a ticket. You're not going to get on.
Police officer. No.
Yeah.
So we're stressing. If you have a question, or any doubt, or you're confused because of what somebody else says, call us. Call our recruiting unit. Go on our website. We have an information session coming up, May 4th, Sunday, May 4th.
Where?
Sign up. It's gonna be in Thornhill.
Okay.
At 1000 US Minister Drive in Thornhill in Vaughan.
Okay.
It's just south of the 407. It's right by Bathurst Street, Bathurst and 407.
Okay.
It's gonna be from 2:00 until 5. We're going to tell you everything that you need to know. So whatever you hear out there, just drop that and come in with an open mind and listen to us. Because what we're telling you, that's what it is.
That's right. Hearing directly from the source.
Right.
That's amazing.
I just wanted to add as well, we have another information session coming up this month as well, April 22nd.
Okay.
It's going to be local to TEB, Training Education Bureau. So one thing Ralph didn't mention was that the one on May 4th is actually a new one for us in the sense of we'll still be running our traditional ones, but this one is newly created. It's going to be closer to individuals that we want to target.
Okay.
So that was the brainchild of myself and Ralph.
Okay.
And then we just saw a need for moving closer to the diverse populations that we wanted to attract. So that's what we're going to be doing on May 4th. But then we have our traditional ones, as I said, as usual, at 90 bales. At 70 bales, and that's going to be April 22nd. But for any information, check out our YRP Recruiting social media page with Instagram, and then check out our website at
It's actually up and running now.
Yeah, it is. So YRP.ca and our official YRP account as well for all information.
Amazing. I'll tell you this, guys. You guys are an amazing representation.
We love you, man.
You guys are an amazing representation of the organization. And I'll tell you, we come across people all the time. And I'll tell you, York is a service that I stand behind. That is an amazing example of what policing should be to a community. And the more people that come to us,
I'm not here because I have no choice.
we're pushing into you guys.
I can positively tell you, and
Yeah.
I can tell the chief, I'm not here because I have no choice.
Right,
I'm
right.
here because I want to be here.
That's it.
Because I love the people I work with. I love the organization. And I'm not saying every day is a good day.
Okay.
Right? We have up and down days. But what I can tell you is, for the most part,
Yes.
I love what I'm doing.
Okay. That's amazing. Look, I want to do one thing right now, just because here's the thing. Look, policing has gained a bad rep over the years for things that happen internationally. People don't understand that there's amazing people like yourselves in the uniform that are representing. Okay.
Most definitely.
So what I want to do is let's just to kind of as the official close, okay? Because we've already, by the way, shout outs.
I think I know exactly what you're getting at.
Because right now I want to let's just throw one thing out that people don't know about you, Ralph. People don't know about you, that you like to do, like an enjoyable thing, right? Whether it be like one thing.
I love fishing, man.
You love fishing?
I love fishing.
Okay.
I love fishing. I was in Miami a few months ago, and my brother-in-law and I went fishing, deep sea fishing. It was 200 feet.
Okay.
And I caught some good red snappers, man.
Okay. Favorite music?
Favorite music?
Yeah. Or favorite song or favorite artist? Any one of those.
Favorite music? I like the Depeche Mode, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Okay, nice.
I like the Depeche Mode.
All right, I'm going to throw one more out from a favorite West Indian dish.
Curry goat and rice, man.
Okay, yeah.
Curry goat and rice. I love curry goat and rice.
Okay, let's do the compare yourself right now, man. Okay. So one thing that people don't know about that you love to do.
So what I love to do, and I've kind of picked it up recently, a lot of people that know me would say that I'm an athlete, elite athlete. But on a serious note, I picked up golf. Like I like to take my little ones. Yeah,
Wow.
That's funny.
Okay.
See, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So I just started doing it last year. As I said, I took my little ones out. I have a girl and a boy.
Okay.
I take them out and I have an absolute great time, man.
Okay.
So I don't know if I can go on the 18 holes and do my thing, but I'm on the driving ranges with the best of them.
Okay.
So that's something that I liked that I picked up doing.
You probably drive very well.
I don't know about that, but I'm out there doing my thing.
All right. And a favorite artist.
So to be honest, I like all genres of music. I like hip hop. Hip hop's my thing.
Yeah.
And I said, if
So
I was
you're gonna go old school like Wu-Tang or or Tribe or
none of the new.
Yeah.
I give respect to the new cats.
Yeah.
Not my thing, but yeah, some old school. So you know what's going on.
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
You know what's up.
And favorite West Indian dish.
Ooh. So as I said, I am half Guyanese, so I need to be very careful. Either saying curry chicken or chicken curry.
Okay.
So you know what I mean. I'll just keep it at roti, man. I love roti.
And music, I love Middle Eastern music.
Yeah. Really?
I love Middle Eastern music.
Okay. That's an interesting.
And Indian music. I was listening to Indian music yesterday. I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
He's very worldly.
Yeah, that's
Very
good, man.
worldly.
Got the international vibes.
And one thing I wanted to say before we left,
Yes.
as I said, and we talk about this all the time, it's very easy for an organization to send individuals who've been on for 2 days, not literally 2 days, but a year, 2 years, and speak about the great things.
Yes.
And respectfully, I say, and Ralph probably would say as well, is that what do they really know? If you've been on for a year or two, you might think you know a lot.
Yeah.
But there's still so much you haven't been experienced to. Myself and Ralph, you have about 52 years of service in here right now.
Yeah, man.
Not saying we know everything. Ralph knows a lot. Knows a lot. He's been around, been in recruiting unit 3 times. But this is what you got to look at when you look at the type of organization you want to work for. Like Ralph alluded to, there's obviously, just like life, there's good and bad days. There's a lot more good days than there's bad days because it's all about your perception and your mindset.
100%.
But look at who's being presented to you. Look at what they're saying. Look at if they're resonating with you.
Yeah.
And I always say this, that understand that as much as the person will be great for an organization, that person needs to make sure that that organization is great for them. Know the values, know the motto, know a little bit about the organization. Once again, the only way you can do that is by Googling it for one, but you don't get the vibe, you don't get the culture, you don't get the experience. So just like Ralph alluded to lastly, just make sure you go onto our website, check out our events calendar.
Yes, that's right.
See what our upcoming information sessions are, but more importantly, pay attention and like and follow YRP Recruiting. As I said, that we would be more than happy. We'd be grateful if anybody can do that.
Amazing. Guys, thank you so much for coming down today.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing what you guys do, man, and putting your lives out there. Respect, appreciate you, and blessings on your lives, man.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very
as much
much.
as you thank us, it wouldn't have been a thing
appreciate
if you didn't invite us down here and have this, you know what I mean, this amazing studio. It's very amazing.
Yeah, it's
awesome, guys.
nice.
All right, but thank you very much,
Cool.
Constantine.
Amazing. Have a great one, guys, and stay safe. Take care. Thank you for joining me in today's podcast. This podcast was created for protectors in the fields of law enforcement, executive protection, security, and anyone looking to level up their mindset. If you are learning from this podcast and you're enjoying it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Sentinel Mindset. That's a zero-cost way to support us. In addition, please subscribe to the podcast both on Spotify and Apple. And on both Spotify and Apple, you can leave us up to a 5-star review. If you have questions for me or comments about the podcast or guests you would like me to consider on The Sentinel Mindset, please post all comments on YouTube. I do read all the comments. Please also check out our sponsors, thearenatoronto.com. The Arena was created to help all those in the fields of law enforcement, security, and all that achieve their fitness goals. I want to thank our producer Matthew Doyle and creative supports Jaslene Singh, who help me with this podcast every week. We value your feedback and are here to support you. Tune into the Sentinel Mindset every week, where we look in the mirror to make real changes and explore what it takes to achieve greatness in your craft.
This podcast is brought to you by Executive Protection Lifestyle Canada. Make sure to drop by next week and don't forget to subscribe.